how you doing? Welcome to Your World Tuesday edition. It's Relationship Tuesday. Najua mmetumisi sana lakini tumerudi. I hope you've had a great time. And today we have quite the conversation. You know, every Tuesday we talk matters za roho. And we know sometimes when we're asked about love, we're just like, oh, me, I want love. You know, the kind that is calming, that is peaceful, that is kind. You know, isn't just lema love tunataka. But so if we are asked what are the obstacles to that, what would our answer be? So today on Your World, we are asking you, are you really ready for the love that you deserve? Do you know what it looks like? Would you identify it? And that leads us to the question of the day today, because the question you're asking you is, if love knocked on your door today, would you recognize it or would you question it, and why? If love knocked on your door today, would you recognize it or would you question it? So this conversation is moving from self-sabotage to self-worth. What do those things mean? Are we our own hindrances when it comes to getting that love that we seek from out there? Does it come from within us? Ama ni mtu mwingine anakam nayo anatuambia cheki, sichukue love na kugeish. Unaona ni kama iko complete. Is that it or is that not it? But we have an amazing panel for you to help us have this conversation. And starting on my immediate left, we have counseling psychologist Lydia Karimi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Wigan.
Lovely to have you. Mesema leo uko prep because you're having this conversation later in the day.
I am ready. I am ready for
You're ready? Okay, yes. Okay. And right next to Lydia, we have relationship coach Miriam Mwangi. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here.
Yes. And right next, Chadi Somehi. A title, wase, you will understand before I say my own things. Human Intelligence Development Coach. Gloria Chebet in the building. Karibu sana. Ndio tulikuwa tunakuita vitu vingine huko kando kando, kaamua kuturudisha.
Listen, decorum.
Yes,
when it comes to dealing with me.
Yes.
Yes.
We apologize.
Yes,
we really do. Yes. Karibuni sana, and of course we have an audience in the building. How are you guys doing? Mko salama? Mmesema mapenzi ndio kitu imewaleta hapa. Kuitafuta ama kwa sababu mnataka kukua watu wenye mnapeana mapenzi nzuri? Kupokea. Kuipokea. And I think strengthen. Okay. All of that will probably happen here today. And I just like for us to start this conversation from understanding what self-love is. Because I think before we step into probably giving that love to somebody else, we need to understand sisi wenyewe tuko aje, tunaanzia wapi ikitu ya kutaka kupendana na kupendwa in a right way. Lydia.
Thank you so much for that. So self-love, the understanding of self-love is wide.
Okay.
It's wide. And in this way, self-love is an understanding of who you are, appreciating who you are, and making a commitment to go out of your way to build and to shower yourself with goodness, with affection, with care, with support.
Yeah.
It is it's an individual intention. You can love yourself in different ways. One, the moment you identify who you are, what your gifts are, what your values are, what you stand for, you make an intentional decision to be there for yourself, even without the external factors coming in. That is self-love.
Okay. Yes. I don't know if you can add on to that. I think cutting across to all of you and probably throwing in their self-worth as well.
I think Lydia has covered it pretty well. But what I would say is, I think the key to self-love is, like she has said, self-awareness. Knowing who you are, appreciating yourself, and this is tied in with self-worth also. You can't have self-love if you don't have self-worth. And self-worth cannot be there if you don't know yourself, if you don't know who you are. You don't know what your triggers are. You don't know what you like. You don't know what you want. You don't know what your boundaries are, you know, or even what makes you tick as a person.
Yeah.
But I must add that you can't have self-love if you're self-critical.
Oh.
Very, very many people have this critical voice in their heads because probably they grew up with critical voices and that's all they knew.
Yeah.
So there are some things you will tell yourself that you can't tell another human being. You're so stupid. You're so, like all those, you make a mistake and you berate yourself so much.
Yes.
And you can't berate another person like that. So long as you're having that critical voice in your mind, self-love cannot exist and your self-worth is not where it's supposed to be. So I think it's a point where, yes, you can make mistakes, but it's just like the way with your child when they make mistakes. You don't, well, if you're a good parent, you just don't go berate them and shout at them and tell them you're good for nothing, you're so useless.
Yes.
You talk to them in a way like, look, you made a mistake here, this is where you went wrong. Next time, you can do better.
Okay.
So I found in my profession in counseling psychology, most people who have self-esteem issues have them because of the voice they have inside. The voice they use to, not even from the outside, the one they talk to themselves with. So, and it's very loud. So you find that when such a person comes for counseling, you have to change the way they think.
Okay.
Even the Word of God says, renew your mind, and that's where your newness and your new life begins.
Okay.
So self-worth and self-love go together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Chebet?
Yes. So I look at self-love as the internal vibration that speaks to the universe about the intentions that you have about how you want to be seen, held, and appreciated. So it's the message that you're holding that sends out to the world saying, this is my standard. So please bring me something of this nature. You can't possibly plant maize and expect to reap wheat. So if I'm planting self-love within my essence, then the communication that I'm sending out back to me, the vibration I'm asking from the universe, from the world around me, is one that is screaming, so this is my standard, please maintain this level, because as they've rightfully said, if I'm sending out constant self-criticism, constant self-doubt, constant fear of even just being me, then the people that I'll keep on bringing into my world, because that's the message I'm sending to the world, this is me, this is the self-criticizing version of me is who I am. So bring me people who will make me feel that way properly. And you'll keep on saying that the world is very, very good at making sure that they give you exactly what you're asking for. And this is also the other way in which I truly define or look at self-love. Self-love is the alignment between your values, your desires, and your intentions against your actions, your feelings, and your thoughts. All of these things have to be in alignment. So your desires, your intentions being in your heart center, and then your actions, your values being the feminine aspect of who you are as a soul, against your thoughts, your actions, your capacity to move, and your feelings, which is situated in your body across your field. So why are these things so important? The moment I know my intentions, then therefore I know why I am existing. You can't come and tell me, hey, Miriam will come and tell me, Chebi, say we go do this somewhere here, there. I'll be like, actually, no, I wouldn't be able to do that because that does not align with the person that I am. And then the moment I know my values, then I know my boundaries. The moment I know what my values are, I know where my boundaries begin and where they end. So that means I will not be drawn into spaces where I am shutting down who I am for the sake of somebody else. I will not be able to put myself in spaces where I'm not seen. Somebody was telling me over the week, probably he'll come up in the conversation, that you have so many boxes. Your values, people don't have values. People are just there. They're easy to manipulate. And I'm like, oh, so now because people have values, there's a problem. Yeah, because small-minded people don't want people who have truly captured who they are and how they want to feel and how they want to be experienced, because they become a threat. Why do you know yourself, though? I need to tell you who you are. So that's the value of understanding your true values. And when you talk about values, there's a societal imposed values and there's a true intrinsic values. The moment I know now I've figured out my intentions, I've figured out my values, then I know my desires. So you won't come and tell me, you know these red bottoms? They're so cute. You need to spend all of your money on them. I'll be like, actually, I prefer designer stuff that I've made myself because it makes me feel good to express myself through art. So you keep your Louis Vuitton, me, I'm cool with my kitenges. So that's the beauty about understanding your heart desires, because why? Then I will not be moved around by the waves of people saying doing this instead of clapping. You'll not be moving around with nonsense like those things. You'll be understanding who you are.
Yes.
You'll be understanding your values, and you understand your intentions. Guess how that impacts how you think. Guess how that impacts how you feel about yourself. And guess how that impacts how you act in the world around you. All those factors are essential for self-love. So it isn't as we've put it as so physical.
Yeah,
and
I went to the spa. I'm reading your book, guys.
Those are nice.
Money petty.
Those are nice. They're nice. They're cute, because you kind of have to take care of your vessel. You kind of have to take care of your physical being.
Yeah.
But we're more than this.
Okay. Absolutely.
We're more than the physical vessel.
Yeah.
And when we focus on this and we forget about the other aspects of who we are as souls, that's where the dissonance comes in.
There's something that the two of you have mentioned, and I'm going to rope you in on this one because I'm sure you have something to say about it. When we talk about self-criticism, the things that we think about ourselves and how we probably view who we are, what we are capable of and not capable of, and where that comes from. Sometimes, would you say it is sometimes subconscious? It's probably how you've always viewed things for you to come later, learn later in life that probably you should think otherwise. But how do you identify that this is actually probably self-sabotage?
Thank you so much. So the truth is, as Chebi and Miriam have said, self-criticism is one of those things that really impact how we behave, how we act,
Isn't it like, is it all bad?
It is really bad.
Really?
Now, let's begin from where does it come from? Where does it come from? So one, it comes from our attachments. When we grew up, when we were born, and as we were growing up, the experiences that we had shape how we think and how we see ourselves. So if our caregivers were criticizing us, then most probably we grow up internalizing that we are not good enough. If we were given so much responsibility, the other day we talked about firstborns, so much responsibility, and certain language was spoken or expectations were placed on us, then we grew up with a perfectionistic attitude, and the intention is to ensure that we do everything right, because we are supposed to be achievers, we're supposed to show up, So the moment we don't show up as the society expects or the people around us expect, then we end up internalizing criticism. Okay, so the society has its place in terms of kind of setting a standard for us on what is expected of us. And so as we grow up, we end up behaving in a way that we intend to maybe please the society and not behave from a point of appreciating and honoring the people we are, the person we are. Now, note this, that every human being grows up with a personality, trait. Every human being grows up with those internal, gifts. If we were to go to the Word of God, the Bible says that God puts us in place, put everything in place in our bodies or in our lives, yes? And that's why Chebi was talking about, we are a soul. You are a soul. Before you are shaped by the people and the world around you, you are. And so we have a responsibility to build or to work on ensuring that we release, we manifest that person, that natural person that God created inside of us. So yes, we'll be influenced by the external factors, but we have a responsibility to actually determine what we really want. Your own world, if you listen to yourself, you will tell, this is what I believe in, this is what I want for my life, and this is what I'm created to do. Sometimes people around us will force us or will push us to choose different careers. Sometimes we'll be forced to get into certain relationships because at a certain age you're supposed to get married. Sometimes you're forced to make choices that actually do not align with who you are, but this is coming from how you grew up. So if your attachment style is an avoidant attachment style, identify, where is this coming from? Why am I avoiding? Why am I afraid of being intimate with people? Why was I criticized? Was I hurt? Was I betrayed? Because that that betrayal, that hurt that ever happened in your life at some point actually creates a statement in your subconscious. And therefore, your subconscious now tends to have a voice over your life as you're making decisions at this particular point of life.
Okay. Then I'd probably throw in another question to that. What does it look like when you're protecting yourself and not looking at it like sabotage then?
Sabotage and protecting yourself are two different things.
Yes.
First of all, you can't protect yourself if you don't have the things that Chebi talked about. If you don't have values, if you don't have boundaries. Because what are you protecting yourself from? You know, so you must have values and you must have boundaries.
Okay.
Sabotage is where you're seeing you. Let me just give an example. You have a good thing going, a good relationship going, and like Lydia has rightly put it, let's say you're an avoidant, right? And you get into this relationship, it's going really well. You've just hit the 3-month mark. You're like, hii kitu imeenda sana.
Kitu ni serious.
Serious, but hata sijui kama niko tayari. So, and you're not even telling yourself that consciously. So unaanza vituko subconsciously. Like unajitoa tu timing. Like it's like scoring your own goal. Yani unafaa kuscore ile side ingine lakini so it's like you kind of feel this is too good for me. I always lose. I always don't get what I want. So before nikwe disappointed by another person, let me kickstart the disappointment myself. At least if I disappoint me, it will be easier than when another person disappoints. So you kind of find that you're checking out of a relationship or out of situations before you're checked out. Like even in job situations, you just find you start absconding, you're coming in late. Even with relationships, you tell someone you're going to call them, you call them 10 years later, you know for sure it's going to cause problems, but you don't care. Another thing I want to add about what Lydia said about self-criticism, it's voices from the world, from other people, amplified by yourself. Amplified by your subconscious. Okay. So some of those things you're telling yourself, you don't even know where they came from. You don't know how they started, but it's you amplifying them to yourself. Okay. So it could be things you picked up along the way. Let me give you a very good example. When I was younger, this one, very traumatic. I'm still healing. Anyway, I was in high school so many years ago. Me, I was one of those people who, I didn't know I was, sorry for using this word on camera, I didn't know I was fat. Yes. Me, I was good. I was okay with my body. I think I had really good body image. Until people started telling me, manze, umekula jo, like you're fat. You know, I remember once I was in a matatu and then, you know, those days you're standing in matatus in your uniform. Yes. It's a matatu for high schoolers, you know, cool high schoolers. Umejingisha huko, umemanage kuingia. And then, makanga anakuja anajaribu kusonga hizi songa juu hakuna space. So like the music is loud. Yes. And then all of a sudden it's like the universe was working against me. Dereva na decide to stop music at that particular moment when the makanga, and you know them and they have boisterous personalities, and I shout, hey, kwani kuna shule ya wamama si umekula?
Oh no.
Like, you know.
Oh no. Miriam, we're just gonna hold you for a moment. Oh my goodness. What?
Yeah. So that voice now
becomes louder
it became
later.
My voice. I see myself, you know, now you're going to a point of becoming anorexic because you're like,
what is that? But I'm so sorry.
I didn't know I was before that.
Until that happened.
Exactly.
Watch out to lipe bills. Acha to lipe bills. Alafu turudi. Tunaendelea na discussion during breaks. Ndio? Okay. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is Your World. Don't go too far. Welcome back. Like I promised you, this conversation continued. We were all traumatized here for Miriam. We are sorry, Miriam, you had to go through that. Well, you were blossoming.
I'm over it.
You're over it now.
I was just starting to blossom. Imagine.
Oh, yeah. But you're here now.
Someone calls my blossoming fat. Now I'm like, now, surely. You know?
Karibuni sana. Today on Your World, we are asking you, are you really, really ready for the love that you deserve? How do you identify it? From self-sabotage to self-worth. We're looking at the habits behind that, the mindset behind that, and all of that. And just for that question today, we Kunauto may confess, Apa. I'm just waiting to see if that will make it to camera. So I'll pretend I did not ask earlier and ask again. Have you ever self-sabotaged yourself when you knew for sure this guy is perfect and probably not ready for it? It's new for me. It's not chaotic. Why is it so calm? Why is it so boring? And all of that. Tuanze na panelist ama tuanze uko nyuma? Tuanze nyuma. Miriam ako tayari. Have you ever?
Oh, yeah. And I think it was the best thing I ever had. I had never been loved like that.
Yeah.
Like, this guy made me feel secure.
Yeah.
I didn't have, in fact, I used to brag to my friends, she doesn't have to call me all the time. I know I'm loved.
Yeah.
But I think you're so used to toxic that when a good thing comes, you're like, this is too good to be true. Italipuka too at some point.
At some point.
You know, perfect gentleman, caring to the core, making sure you're fine. Like, nilipendwa lakini sikupendeka. Like, I think I don't know what made me just feel like this is too much. So I just one day articulated some very bad things, you know, that made him feel, I think, I'm not in the right relationship, or we're in two different relationships. Because this guy, we were in campus. This guy had already started planning our future together.
Oh.
Wow. Imagine, like, he was that sure this is it. You know, he used to be the type of guy I tell, me, I'm not allowed to go out, so we can't, I'm not coming with you. And then he'd tell his boys, and he's on with the car, he'd tell his boys,
if my babe's not going, I'm not going.
So I'm not going. And their friends would come beg me, Akisi wende to babe boy. No, I'm just here. Home. He would not go. Like, that's how good he was. I don't know what came over me. I think, again, it's those subconscious things. And I just told him something really nasty.
Yeah.
Those days I couldn't admit shida ilikuwa yangu. Juu hata nilijipeleka counseling na ni mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa nimejiuliza. But now I'm grown up enough to say, I think that's even why I became a counseling psychologist. Yani, I'm the one who sabotaged to a point he just backed out. And one thing I learned about men those days, after that, there's something you can tell a man and there's no turning back. You're thinking it's just a normal comment. But lakini mahali yeye ameiweka na vile ameichukulia, there's no coming back. Because I would be like, but it wasn't that bad, that thing that I said. But to him, it was just outright rejection. And that was it. Chali alienda akiendanga. No goodbye, nothing. Me, in fact, nilikuwa namuonea kwa kisogo, like he's gone. No explanation, nothing. I'm like, dude, at least you kuja tuongea nini. Then I was like, nikiachwa sikujua. Vile tu nilitoka kwa relationship sikujua nikiachwa. So nilijiita mkutano kasema nimeachwa haki. And you know, the worst part is we were sharing classes. So I have to see this person for the rest of the semester na tuongee. Namwambia ni aje si twende lunch kule tu. Ai, wapi? Mimi wewe kwako mimi. Alichange hata kibanda mimi naenda yangu. So it was so bad. But then after that is when I'm like, this is it. Like, this was the best thing I ever had. And now I never had. Like, I had to go for counseling. Imagine, live. I'm not lying. Like, for real. Hapo nenda tu naambia counseling, unashanga utamwambia nini? Nimetupwa ama nimetupana ujui. Like, it's just over. So self-sabotage exists, but it exists because of low self-worth. You don't believe that you deserve this good thing. How can I? And is it going to last? And if it lasts, am I that good enough? Like, koni ni nini anaona kwangu? Na misioni. Na ye, he's ready to give you the world. Even the moon can is a shukisha. But you're not like, I'm not worthy. Like, how? Who already could receive? So there's a way someone can give you love, but you're not ready. You have no capacity to receive
it.
You have no capacity. That was me.
So is it then innate for us, if you've not taken care of yourself, to probably fall in love with or get into a relationship with someone who you don't deserve? The opposite of that. Like, you look at them, if they're more chaotic, if they're like bad boys. You've seen those girls who are just like, come and see bad boy mimi haiwezi. Na lazima kuwe rough kidogo. Wale wenye ni calm, cool and collected is just a thing.
So technically, we relate love in the way we look at it today as serious chemistry. There has to be fireworks.
Yeah.
It has to be exploding everywhere. And if you look at the chemical element today that explodes that much, inakuanga gani?
Dopamine.
Not even just in it, just achana na yo. The ammunitions, which ones are the ones that explode the most?
Tunongelelea za inside the body.
No, just outside. You know, the ones that we use in war. I don't want to mention it. But if you look at the way it destroys things when you put those elements together, that's the same thing. Those chemicals that we look at when you kutana with somebody who is giving you all those fireworks, sort of kind of gives you, but it's not truly love. It's that hit of dopamine that you get and oxytocin that you get in that one moment. And then you're thinking, oh my God, you even go destroying something that is peaceful, something that is good, something that is anchoring you. Because for whatever reason, you as a married person or whatever it is in a relationship, you've just met somebody who you guys are fireworksing together.
Yeah.
You even call them kryptonite. This is my kryptonite and things like, you have names for them.
I do.
Right?
Yes.
So, but then the truth is, that's truly not love, right?
Yes.
Those are chemical reactions. Those are just chemical reactions in your body. But love that is welcoming, love that is healthy, love that is peaceful, is calm. Aina fireworks, aina hizo madrama. So if you're boring. There, technically you look at it as boring. But because of a lot of complex traumatic things people have gone through all the time, all through life, we're so used to chaotic environments that when you're in a peaceful environment, it does not make sense. Kwa nini hatuargue? Kwa nini liacha ile choo kama sijafunika alafu aja shout? What is going on?
Yeah.
Why are they so nice? Something is off here. We anajifanya, kuna time ata explode. So we start sabotaging that because it's peaceful and kind and inviting and grounding, because that's what love is meant to do, right? It's meant to ground us. It's meant to allow us to truly look at ourselves in the space and think, wow, so this is actually what love is. Because chemistry is one thing and it has nothing to do with love. Because chemistry is your physical body's biologies and chemicals going crazy, going, oh my God, this is, most of the time, that's a trauma bond. Most of the time, that will end up in proper.
When I feel Matunduriru, I run away from Matunduriru because...
Technically, that's what I'm saying. Because the truth is,
yes,
when you go beyond those Matunduriru and butterflies,
yes,
and you actually can be able to see yourself in that space without losing yourself in that space, then now you can come back and say, actually, there's something here. But when you fall so fast for those fireworks and chemicals, unaonanga hiyo barabara watu teremkanga very, very fast. And the faster you go in, the faster you get out.
Oh my goodness. Yep. So what happens then when I feel those things? At what point do I feel those things for probably, or be able to identify?
This is what I've noticed.
Yes.
Over the past couple of years, since I have been in this space of understanding people, self, and the world I live in, you will always find people who will be attracted to you. Yeah. Because first things first, people are attracted to what they see. We're very visual as far as humans are concerned. But it takes a very mature soul to acknowledge the soul that is carried in that beautiful structure of a person that you are. But most people don't have capacity yet to see that.
Okay.
Most people will see, oh, that's a cute body, oh, anakaa vizuri, and that's it. That's enough to get them tick. They're like, they have to get you. But the truth is, every relationship we get into is an opportunity for our soul to evolve. So let's stop being so materialistic and so small-minded. Because when you step out of that gap, you realize that every relationship is an opportunity for you to learn. But you don't have to date them to get learnings from that person. You don't have to sleep with them for you to learn from that person. Because the moment there's an attraction, there's a part of you that is seeking a lesson that that person is carrying. From a mature place, you can sit and actually converse with that person and ask, what is it that they're carrying for me that my body, my mind is so attracted to them for? Because that's a physical attraction. So when you sit and ask, what about them am I so drawn to?
Yeah.
It's something that you have capacity to acknowledge within you, but you haven't. So they carry that for you. So the moment you learn that, that's why sometimes these chemicals, you have sex that's it, imeisha. Nobody is calling anybody. It was just sex. And people are gone, right? And they're gone, and nobody is responding to. And the most people who get really hurt in this are the women, because they've invested. So then they're thinking, ooh, this is happening. That guy is there for one agenda only. That agenda agents your past news. So you're there wondering, kwa nini anicall? Kwa nini ajanipigia? Ni 8. Ajaniambia good morning babes. Yeah, alishaambia mtu mwingine good morning. Oh, ulikuwa news ya jana. But the truth is, if you had your grounds and you understand what is it about this person that I'm so drawn to, you'll realize that your soul will get the chance to evolve, and then you'll get to a place where you so come in spaces of chemical attractions, because you'll realize that this is a trap. This is an opportunity for me to learn. And if I'm to even go back to tying this to criticism that she mentioned earlier, I tend to look at criticism in 2 ways. If you're not aware of self, then it is one of the most devastating experiences to have within your own mind. But if you're learning to understand self, if you have a clear concept of who you are, or you're learning to understand who you are, then that becomes a vehicle for your expansion. Because at that particular moment, when something like that happens in the back of your mind, you realize, oh, so this is an opportunity for me to interrogate the source of this story. So it stops becoming good or bad. It starts becoming, it is a story. Where is this story coming from? Because the moment you even sit back here in this seat, in this conversation, and put labels to this is bad and this is good, the person going through it right now across the screen is thinking, I'm in the worst place of my entire life. But the truth is, you're not love. What is happening is, you just need to get an opportunity to understand self. The moment you have a clear understanding of self, that voice will start to look at you, you'll start to look at it as, it's that bestie who's always telling you things that they don't want to tell you, but they're telling you so that you can grow. Because there's nothing about humans, about ourselves, that is bad. Stop looking at yourself like that. There's not a single thing about a human experience that is bad. It's how we define that experience that determines how I get to relate
with others.
Exactly.
So self-criticism is coming up a lot in terms of like how probably we grew up, the things we've been told, the things we've heard, things we're telling ourselves. But then what can I actively do then to be able to move from that place of self-doubt to probably a place where I can see my worth, see what I'm about, what I intend, so that I'm able to even identify that this is Tunduriru, Ekakando, and now look at the person directly to just see what they are about and if you like that or not.
All right. So, one, we need to, I'll ask you this. Are you aware that actually you're criticizing yourself? Are you aware of that emotion, the self-criticism? Because many times, many people are not aware of it. All right. So the moment you realize that every time I get into a relationship and then maybe I behave a type of way, even when I'm doing things right, I tend to criticize myself. Then that tells you something is not okay. Actually, it is a red flag within, okay? So identify the specific emotion, the behavior, that is the self-criticism. The moment you identify it, ask yourself, is it good? Is it working for me? It's not working for me, because there's no time when self-criticism will make you, will change or will influence your thoughts to positive thoughts. Self-criticism will always take you to the downward side of negative thinking. And the moment you adopt negative thinking, the next thing we experience is negative actions, right? Your thoughts will influence your behavior. So you find yourself behaving in a way that is self-sabotaging. You find yourself procrastinating. You find yourself being too perfectionistic. You get it. So admit that this is self-criticism, and I need to address it. Now the next thing is, look at your behavioral patterns, because your behavioral patterns will tell you, actually they will guide you towards who you are or how you see yourself. If your behaviors are always taking the downward trend, then it means something is really not okay. The moment something is not okay and you have admitted it, then now seek ways with which you can be able to deal with it. And now that is what with it, and that's what now you're asking me. How do we get out of it? One, you can seek somebody to help you walk the journey. Okay. Walk the journey in this way. If someone, when I get people that are really self-critics, or they criticize themselves a lot, especially the melancholics, because they are perfectionists, they are analytic and all that. I sit down with them and go back to their childhood. What did they pick as they were growing up? And not only the melancholics, but even other personalities. What happened as you were growing up? Now, you were criticized or you experienced certain traumatic events. We process the trauma, because we need to get the negativity, the negative experiences that have been stored in your memory. We need to release them so that now we can feed your memory brain or your subconscious with different or positive words. So we work on self-talk, okay, to be able to stop seeing self from a negative side. We start looking at what can we say, that instead of saying I'm not enough, you start telling yourself you are good enough. Instead of telling yourself that I'm not loved, I'm rejected, you start telling yourself that you are accepted. So you start building a language, a type of language towards self, and that's self-love.
Okay.
You speak positivity, you speak acceptance, you speak support towards yourself, so that now you start building or budding the flower towards self-worth and the self-acceptance. Now, you realize that as we were growing up, we grew up being taught that the best people, the people who should be telling you what to do, is your teacher, is your parents, is the pastor,
elders in society.
Elders in the society. They are the ones who know what you should do and how your life is supposed to go, okay? So now, after the learning period, yes, they were very good and they played a very important role as you were growing up. Now, you've gotten to a point whereby your logical brain is grown. It's called the prefrontal cortex is grown. You can make decisions. You can make logical choices. Now, many of us keep on following up to those people. I need to wait for my parent to help me make this decision. I need my pastor to help me make this decision. And many times, people get married, get into relationships to be rescued. So you want a husband to be a leader so that he can be making decisions. All right? So the attitude, or I want a wife to get into my space. Now my house is clean, my children are taken care of, and all that. So many times we forget how to trust ourselves, or we downplay trusting ourselves, which is part of self-worth, and it is part of self-love. So we build ourselves by speaking, having a positive internal dialogue. That is the way to go. The next thing is look for things, go back to your values. I believe in growth. I believe in independence. I believe in financial stability, or stability by itself. What can I do to be able to get to achieve, or to be able to take care of these values that I believe in? Now, ask yourself, can I do it without depending on what the society says about me, what people around me say about me? Do I have the capacity? Yes, I have the capacity. And if you're spiritual like me, I go to scriptures. I will look for all scriptures that will build me up. You know, any scripture that will say that I'm good enough, any scripture that will tell me through Christ that lives in me, I can do all things. So I build myself up with books, positive books, journaling, writing things down, so that you're in touch with your life. Yes.
All right. And I have a question tied into that as well. Now that we've gotten probably to a place where I am now talking positively to myself, I am seeing where I'm at and where I'm going and what I need and all of that, then after we check out what's up, I'd like to find out then, where's the link about how tunasikianga watu wakisema you attract who you are. Mimi manze nimework on myself. Msemi sijui shida yake iko wapi. But we will answer that after we check out your WhatsApps right now. And a question that we are asking you today is very, very simple. We're asking you, if love knocked on your door today, would you recognize it or would you question it, and why? And we've got a bit of feedback. Love, ? Mbili. Guys, help me understand this love debate from my grandfather's perspective. He sent his friends to kidnap my grandma. After a week, he dispatched elders to inform her family. They lived happily, they have lived happily 92 and her 85 years now. Love and chemistry. Guys, help me understand this from my, this is the same one. They have lived that is Arsman, thank you. Hello, your world. I'm Wambura from Nyeri. Why is it hard to let people completely in my life, especially in the aspect of truly showing them where I really am in life? I feel ashamed of my life, the situation I'm in. It's like I chase perfection so much that I forget to live at the moment. I sabotage relationships because of that. What should I do? Miriam, utachukua hiyo. Yes, self-sabotage. Kuna mtu anatupigia simu hapa back to back. We want, okay. Hello, good morning. I am ready for love, please. Tupatie, inaitwa nini? Demarcations, ama indicators za how ready. Yeah. Ni nini ulifanya? Ndio upate hiyo kujua niko tayari mimi mwenyewe. But maybe we can answer that before we even answer the question that I had asked before.
I like that question. It's a very interesting question. But I want to make a comment about that guy who talked about his grandfather.
Yes.
That's such a different era.
Yeah.
And those days, they made a commitment. Yes, you're kidnapped. I mean, they didn't get love marriages back then. No. It was mostly the kidnapping or fixed marriages. But they knew one thing. Nikienda nimeenda.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed in the Kikuyu culture? You know, I'll speak about the Kikuyu culture because I'm Kikuyu. When you get married as a girl, do you know what gift you're given by your parents?
Kiodo.
A bed.
Oh, a bed?
They give you a bed. Kukuzindikisha, kukwambia una place kwetu.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it actually means. Like, this, of course, they'll buy you a new bed, but symbolically it's saying,
yes.
This is the bed you are sleeping in our house. Sasa umeenda nayo kwa bwana yako.
Yeah.
So, sasa ukirudi kwetu, hakuna place ya kulala. So traditionally, that's the way it was. Umeenda, hata kama ni kubeba, umebebwa juju, umeenda, there's no going back.
Okay.
And so they knew they have to hold on to each other. They revered commitments despite everything. Nitashikilia tu kwa sababu sina kwa kwenda, nitakaa. So they stayed because of that commitment and actually saying, I've had old couples say, the reason why we worked is because we told ourselves from the very beginning, divorce does not exist.
Yeah.
So either we work or we work. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
And when you feel like you have no other option, so long as the person is humane and is good, you will do everything to make it work. Because I've said here so many times, love does take work. Like Jabet said, it's not about chemistry.
No.
It's not about chemistry. Me, by the way, you're matundiru wata tu niseme. They are very good because they help you get attracted to the person first. But they don't last.
They don't last.
Me nilienda place, nikaenda party, nikaona msee akidance vizuri. I was young, please forgive me. Nikaona msee ana moves, yani I'm like, man, I can imagine I fell for him because of his moves. Na hati kapepeta, na nikaenda nikiendanga. Then after a month, naangalia msee nasema, kwani ananga moves different?
Oh!
Now, the chemicals have started going
down.
So namwangalia, the same thing iliniingisha.
The same thing that,
I'm like, he can't change.
Yeah.
And imagine when nilitokwa, and I'm like, you know, so what she was talking about, that shallowness, na ikaenda.
Miriam, kitabu. And I hate that every time I have to cut you short because we have to pay our bills. We really do have to pay our bills. But remember the question that we are asking, and we'll come back to even answer the question that was asked on WhatsApp because we haven't gotten to it yet. And I'm sure Chebet has something to add on to this Matunduliro story. Mkonake ko hapa constantly. Teach me. The question you're asking you today is, if love knocked on your door today, would you recognize it or would you question it? And why? If love knocked on your door today, would you recognize it or would you question it? Why? That's the question we're asking you today. NTV Kenya on all of our social media platforms. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Relationship Tuesday on Your World. And we're talking about love, identifying it, knowing it, accepting it, and sometimes blocking it subconsciously, consciously, all of that put together. And we're asking you, are you really, really ready for the love that you deserve? Because it's not just about them being ready on the other end, it's are you also able to identify and accept it? We've already established that those things you're feeling, those explosive matunduritos, you need to rethink. Unateremka how fast kwa hiyo mteremko ya my feelings, and do you know them for who they really, really are? And the question that we're asking you today is, if love knocked on your door today, would you recognize it or would you question it, and why? If love knocked on your door today, would you recognize it or would you question it, and why? NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. Our WhatsApp line is open as well. Hata simu yetu ya kupiga hivi iko tayari, tupigie simu utachukua. We've got experts in studio who are going to answer all of your questions. Now, before the break, we had a question on self-sabotage. Miriam.
Yeah. I picked two things from that lady. I think it was a lady.
Yeah.
She said she's afraid for full disclosure.
Yes.
Quote unquote.
Yes.
Like, she doesn't want to show her true self and what she has, because what I picked from that is that she's ashamed.
Yes, she
of
said
where
that
she
was
is
actually
in
yes,
life.
Yes.
And then she also said about being a perfectionist, so she finds herself self-sabotaging because of that. Things I've picked up from that is I would really want to know what her background is, because I feel like there's a lot of trauma talking there. The only reason why you will not want to show your authentic self and where you really are is because you've not fully accepted who you are. Because if you honestly accept who you really are, you and your flaws and everything, you're not afraid what you're showing to the world. Like Chabet was talking about earlier, like she doesn't care whether she's wearing a Louis Vuitton. For her, what works is what works for her. And she doesn't care what the rest of the world thinks. In a way, I'm usually that person. Like, even for me, my fashion trend is my own fashion trend. I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
Me, so long as if I feel it works for me, it works for me.
Yes.
So it's that thing of feeling, I love me. I have accepted myself the way I am with my flaws. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I have flaws. I have things that I'm not too proud about and probably can grow and work on, but this is who I am.
Okay.
You can take me or leave me. I'm not saying I'm not going to grow. I'm not saying I'm not going to work on my flaws.
Yeah.
But this is exactly who I am.
Yeah.
What I show you is what you get. You see? And so being authentically yourself to the core. Very many people are not able to be authentic with themselves, and that is a problem. Like, if you enter a relationship and you can't be authentic with yourself with the other person, then you're in the wrong relationship.
Yeah.
Because for you to be in a proper relationship, then you must be ready to be vulnerable and to show yourself authentically as you are, without being afraid that this person won't accept me for who I am. You see, because you've already accepted yourself. Like Shabet said, you get who you are. You get what you dish out.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling you can't be authentic with this person will always be feeling, energy doesn't lie, this person will always be feeling there's a barrier.
Yes.
I can't penetrate, there's something. And I guess that's how she's self-sabotaging. Because when you're not, when you have a wall that this other person cannot cross, they will feel like either you don't love me enough, you're not showing me you love me, you're not showing me your real self, I don't know what you think about particular things. I mean, we can't cross this line. Okay. And therefore, a relationship can't go on. About her perfectionism, probably it's how she grew up.
Yeah.
There are those voices in her head where, you have to do things in a meticulous way. You have to do things in a particular way. If you don't do them that way, then you're not good enough. And that's the same voice she's carrying in the relationship.
Okay.
If I can't be this kind of a person, then I'm not good enough to be in a relationship. Mtu tu atajua mimi ni fake, ataniacha, ataenda. So she's telling herself all those things. It's what Lydia talked about, self-talk.
Yeah.
It's very, very dangerous. Self-talk will get you paranoid. Depending on what kind of self-talk. Negative self-talk will get you paranoid. It will get you thinking everybody's against you. People are talking about you. People are saying this about, and probably nobody is thinking about you. Unapata umeka mahali, someone was drifting in their thoughts, they're so aware, and mtu ameniangalia vibaya. Kwa nini ameniangalia hivyo? Mtu atakuwa hapo. But and it's because of how you feel about yourself. So you're not comfortable with people looking at you because probably you feel your nose is crooked a bit in one side, and maybe now they're going to notice. Just small things.
Yeah.
But watu hata hawako huko. So this person is thinking, if I show my true colors, if I don't show my perfectionist side, mtu ataenda. But that perfectionist side is what's becoming a burden to her.
Yeah.
Do you know burdening it is to be perfect all the
true.
time.
That's true.
It is
It
so
is.
heavy. Can you imagine, all the time you're sitting like this? You're eating, umengangana na nini na fork, kukula kuku, mguu imekuhepa kwa plate, unangangana kukula fork na knife, huwezi chukua like.
And there are people who do that effortlessly and good for them, but if it's not your thing and you think you're trying to just fit into a space, into a narrative, into a thing.
Yeah.
Watch out, please.
Hey.
Chebet.
So I'm going to bring in an interesting angle to all of these issues that we're discussing.
Yes.
Criticism, shame, and all of those things. And it's about safety, the concept of feeling safe.
Yeah.
I look at safe as stability, awareness, ethne,
Freedom.
framework. And then E is expansion.
Okay.
But now, the only way that you're going to be able to actually feel safe is by working through your body. Now, I know I told you guys, matundululu in the body is a problem. Okay? That's true. Okay. But when it comes to actually fixing, because that's the conversation we're having now, the work will begin in the body. Leave alone all these conversations of the mind. It's cute, and I love it. And I speak about it, I teach about it, I coach about it.
Yeah.
But the only way for your body, for you to actually understand, embody, and live safety, it will have to start with the body. And this is the part of the body that you get to work with, your nervous system. Because if your nervous system is constantly screaming to you, hey, we need to run, Buddha, una waste time hapa, we anakuacha kesho. If your nervous system is in fight or flight, or freeze or fall, or whatever it is, either it's in the extreme of sympathetic side, which is the battery, the kanyagaing, the sympathetic side is a part of your body that steps on the accelerator, and then the parasympathetic side is a part of your nervous system that steps on brakes. If you're either in excess of kukanyaga battery, kukanyaga accelerator, hiyo gari inaendanga bila kusimama. Bumps utazipitanga hivi ukifly. I don't think that's how you need to live life. And then if you're also on the other side where you're stepping on brakes the whole time, you'll never go anywhere. You'll be stuck. So the thing is, the body sends the signals to the brain to tell the brain, hey, what's up? This guy is safe. I actually like being in his company. Guess, imagine hata anakushika mkono venye nakufanya unasikia vizuri. I'll feel matundululu. Yes, you'll still feel the chemistry because you cannot be with somebody you don't feel some form of attraction to. It's impossible. But the way they touch you, I'll give you an example. When I go out dancing, guys, I love going to uns, buanas if you will. So when I go dancing, there are those times when you'll brush shoulders with somebody. There are those people who brush shoulders with me and I feel hot and I cannot stand to be around that person. Like my body feels like the heat ni kama heat ya coast na uko na blanketi and it's uncomfortable. But then there are people my skin will brush against and it's cool. And I can dance around those people very comfortably. Why? Their agenda, their energy, their intentions is not flawed. I'm safe energetically, physically, and mentally and emotionally and spiritually around that person to dance around. I use that as an example to bring us back into the body because when a child is 2, 1, that child has no concept of pain in the sense that the brain can process, but mweke kidole kwa moto, atatoanga. So the signal starts with the body. Not in the mind. The signals will be sent from the body all the way to the brain because it will come as a sensation. As a sensation. So you'll pick a sensation through the body that says, eh, matundululu. And then it will go to the brain and it is like, ooh, I like it. I like what I see. Like the way he saw the moves like Jagger and is like, that is the one, right? So the brain, because of its fears, because of its dramas, because of its need for survival, right? The way she was saying, most of us get into spaces for survival. We get married to survive. We get married to avoid being at home. So we'd rather go get married. So we avoid being whatever it is survival. So because our brains are geared to look for ways to survive, it's your body that will allow you to expand. And particularly when you're rooted in your heart. But you cannot be in your heart, as you're saying, you people will feel bound, will feel a blockage. It's actually called a heart wall. People will feel your heart walls when you haven't gotten to the point of removing the layers of the onions that is covering your heart. And the only way to do that is by learning to get your nervous system at a place where the speed accelerator and the brakes is balanced. So you have a balanced access of these energies internally. Without balancing from the internal point, I will give you Brené Brown level of speech and bring in offers, conversations to you. Like I'll bring you the top of the top of the top. You will understand me for a day, a week, and then the behavior will come back to what your body already knows to be normal. And it will come back repeating. So I'll find a guy who's really good. For the first 2 months, nitakuwa perfect. The girlfriend, nitamka, by 6, nimeomba, nimefanya my things, nimempikia breakfast. Ako, ooh, I hit jackpot. Until one akiangalia de mwingine vibaya, and then you'll be like, now your survival instincts comes back. And you're like, so why are you staring at her that much? Ni nini ako nayo sina? Ni nini amebeba sijabeba? Tell me please. So you start going into fight mode. You start going into attacking this person. And like she says, you start doing what? Sabotaging. Mtu anamwangalia but hamuoni. Like have you ever just gazed at a place but you're not
seeing?
So this person is looking that direction. Oko, unangalia. You're in your head, right? Because your body is already telling you, yo, danger. So if the body is constantly screaming that way, then there is no way, even this conversation is not going to help you. If the body does not understand the concept of I am safe. And that's why self-love becomes so fundamental, because it is the establishment of that concept of safety in the relationship I have with self. Because love is about connection. It's all been about connection. So if you don't have a connection with yourself,
hawezi. Itakuwa tricky. Itakuwa very tricky. Najua tuko na maswali. Sindio? Nilikuwa naona microphone inatembea hapo backbench. Our panelists are ready. Let's hear from you guys. You can start with your name. It's on.
Hi, my name is Wendy Whitney. I don't have a question, but I want to add on to the question that was asked on WhatsApp. That she said she's ashamed of herself. And that for that reason she ended up sabotaging her relationships. So what I can tell her is, it starts with you. It starts with loving yourself. It starts with being a better version of yourself, not for anyone, but for you. When you start being a better version of yourself for people, you won't realize anything. And then self-criticism, if it's a negative one, you can end up chasing away genuine love because you think everything that comes around you is negative. So each and everyone who is self-criticizing themselves, it should be a mirror and not a weapon. I'll repeat, self-criticism should be a mirror and not a weapon. You should look at yourself and say, this is not good about myself and this is good. Again, everything that you've gone through in your life, you should be so proud. Even if it is negative, you should be proud because they've brought you and they're part of who you are now. So you shouldn't be ashamed of yourself at any point. No matter how bad it is, you should be always proud to talk about them. Because without those things, you wouldn't have reached where you are right now. I always say that the obstacles we face in life make us who we are today.
That's true.
There's this question that I was once asked, that if given an opportunity to change anything about myself, what would I change? I think I should give you guys a chance to answer that question.
What did you say?
If I tell you my answer, you have an hint. But if at any point you're given a chance to change anything about yourself, you shouldn't change anything about yourself. Because you see the struggles you go through in life, those obstacles have made you who you are today. Someone who doesn't let her imperfections define who she is. So always be proud of yourself. And if you're getting into any relationship, don't campaign. Just be you.
Jameni. Mkona leader at clock it. Surely, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Maybe we can have another question. Yes.
Well, I am.
And you can start with your name. Yes.
I am Onesmus Karari.
Yes.
Now my question revolves around how to deal with the guilt of sabotage. For me, at some point, now this is a true story. What many people don't know is that at some point I was a chain smoker.
Okay.
And I stopped smoking overnight.
Okay. Cold turkey.
I decided once.
Okay.
I'm smoking my last.
Okay.
So there is this one lady that I love so much, and I realized it's like she's against me because of smoking.
Smoking, yes.
And I don't know how she realized, because I used to maintain a lot of hygiene.
Yes.
But now when I realize that it's like she's keeping off from me because I'm a smoker.
Yeah.
I decided one night.
I'm
smoking my last. And that is exactly what I did. Now, according to my observation, I realized that it's like she's feeling guilty.
Oh.
And I've also started feeling guilty.
Yes.
Because of what I'm making her go through. So now, how do we deal with this guilt of sabotage?
So the relationship didn't work out? It didn't work out. So the guilt that you're feeling is because you feel like you pushed her away, but you stopped smoking.
Yes, I did. I stopped. I've never smoked again.
You've not smoked again? No. Okay. Melewa swali?
How do you deal with the guilt of
sabotage?
Of self-sabotage?
Okay.
Can we look at it from a holistic view and not specifically on
Yes, I think we can. Okay.
Yes. So guilt is an emotion. And this is an emotion that can happen or can take place or can manifest in the life of any person. Again, number two, we need to agree that self-sabotage can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
It's not something that, there are specific people who actually sabotage themselves, certain personalities sabotage themselves. No, it can happen to anyone. And self-sabotage many times is situational, depending on what exactly is going on in your life. So if you want to deal with the guilt of self-sabotage, number one, as I said earlier, admit. Name it. Anything that you cannot name, you cannot tell.
Yes.
And the good thing about naming something is that it also helps you, it tells the brain, you know what, this is happening, I want to deal with this particular thing, so let us work together. It's like you're bringing in the brain, a partnership between yourself and your brain. So admit it, name it, and then now come up with, realize that this is something that has been affecting me over a period of time.
Yes.
The next thing is identify in which ways have you been self-sabotaging, because we all don't self-sabotage the same way. There are people who self-sabotage by oversharing. There are people who self-sabotage by procrastinating. There are people who self-sabotage by being perfectionists. Sometimes maybe failing to show up when they need to show up. Or sometimes even doing away with relationships that were actually really good, okay? Sometimes it's behaviors that we've taken or we have adopted that actually affect or hit and affect our values or the things that we've always wanted to do. So identify the specific thing. If it is oversharing, how has it affected you? Okay. And what is the adverse effect it has had on you? And identify this what you feel or what you feel about that specific sabotage in your life. Now, note that if you have identified, you have admitted, the next thing you need to do is to be compassionate. Ask yourself, at that moment when I did 1, 2, 3 things, okay, what was going on in my life? Was it the best you knew at that moment? Like I'd mentioned, at some point, I sabotaged a relationship.
Yes.
What did I know then?
Yeah.
What information did I have that time?
Yeah.
So that is the information I used to make the specific decision. Can I be able to go back then? No. It is so many years later, right? So I accept that that was it then. I need to be compassionate to myself, accept myself then, and also accept myself today. At least today I know better. I don't think I'm going to repeat the same thing again. Okay. Then now forgive yourself. If you don't process forgiveness, you'll never be able to deal with guilt. I was looking at the story of David in the Bible, whereby he sinned a lot. Yeah. Actually, I was telling myself that this guy kept sinning so many times, despite the fact that he had a very strong connection with God. But when you go to Psalms 51, you see him telling God, God, I've sinned against you and against you only. Forgive my sin. Do not turn your face away from me in anger, but remember mercy, O God, and change me and turn me so that I can be a blessing to many other people. Psalms 51 talks about how David dealt with sin. So he dealt with guilt, he dealt with shame. So if you want to deal with a guilt that comes with self-sabotage, you've got to forgive yourself. Okay. How do you forgive yourself? You forgive yourself by being compassionate with yourself and then naming it and speaking it out. You know what, Lydia? From today, you sabotaged yourself in this particular way, but right now it is not who you are. You can begin afresh. Okay. And so I forgive you. Yes. And now you are a new being. Yeah. And so you start afresh and you move. Sometimes we may not be able to take ourselves through it. If you need support, that's why we have psychologists in the house and coaches in the house. Yes. Look for someone that can walk the journey with you. Because there are people who deal with, who internalize guilt more deeply than others. Okay. We don't internalize our feelings of shame, guilt at the same level. There are people who move on very fast after doing something, and there are those who are deep feelers. They hold on to it so much. Where you need support, seek support. Okay? Yeah. And let me tell you, being a spiritual person, prayer makes a very big deal. Big difference. Make a prayer. Yeah. Talk to the Lord and tell God, I have struggled with this. I feel guilty about this, and I've forgiven myself. Help me to move on and pick up new behaviors that are going to be a blessing to me and to the people that are around me. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Answered? Yeah, great. Miriam?
Good morning.
Oh, sorry, Miriam Ngala. Sorry. Miriam Ngala. Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Miriam Ngala, and my question goes to Miriam.
Yeah, I mean.
Sometimes we settle because we don't believe we deserve more. So my question is, why do people settle for less? Okay. And my other question is, this one I'm asking for 77 others.
Ooh, okay.
What's the difference between being desperate for love and being ready for love?
Yes, I like it. Oh, let's take another question so that we can give you proper ample time to answer that after the break. Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Juliet Kesita. I think to answer my fellow friend, I will like to tell you, like, moving from a self-sabotage to self-worth, it needs a self-discovery. If you cannot discover yourself, then you cannot move the mountains which are in front of you.
Oh, those, okay. There was no question. Yes, Steve.
Good morning.
Yes.
My name is Steve Mugo.
Yes, Steve Mugo.
And hey. Hey. I'll start by saying love knocked on my door once and nilitoka mbio. Nilitoka mbio. I feel like the reason was I was not confident the way I'm confident right now.
Okay.
And I didn't feel like I met the capacity of being a bad boy. I'm not saying that I'm a bad boy. I'm a good boy, good man rather, But I felt like within that span of time, watu wenye alikuwa natembea nao manze, so I was like, why do you like me? Mimi umeona nini, So anyway, I have a question as well from Alvin and I.
Okay.
Kuna yangu na Alvin. I'll start by asking, what's the difference between self-awareness and self-criticism? Okay. And what's the thin line between weakness and vulnerability? Because I feel like we are in a society that is a bit too woke, and by that basis you might find you being vulnerable. Mtu mwingine anaona we ni sitaki kutumia hiyo jina, but yeah.
Okay. One final question.
Good morning, guys.
And then
my
we'll
name
come
is
back after break.
Brenda.
Yes.
And about love, sabotage and love, I would love to ask a question directly to Miriam.
Hey.
Like, can we have a reverse gear? Maybe, for example, kindly, for
okay.
example,
Yes.
you find yourself, there's something Chabet said that you can find yourself in maybe marriage or love due to situations.
Yes.
You know, now you realize yourself later.
Ushaingia.
Then you realize yourself later. Like, do we have a reverse gear? And how are we going to reverse this car?
Tunashikia hapo kwa reverse. Unaona hapo kwa gear. And I know, Alvin, you have another question of your own, but we'll pick up the rest of the questions after the break, if you do not mind. But wait, kuna reverse gear. Kuna gear ya reverse. We're going to take a quick break, but the question that we are asking you is, if love knocked on your door today, would you recognize it, or would you question it, and why? If love knocked on your door today, would you recognize it, or would you question it, and why? NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. Ama unatoka mbio kama Steve. Ni nini ulifanya na hiyo love? Let us know. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Relationship Tuesday, and we're asking you, are you really ready? Are you ready for the love that you deserve? Are you able to recognize it, see it, identify it, accept it, be one with it? Ama una exit stage left. What happens right there? And that's the conversation we've been having today, from self-sabotage to self-worth. And we had a question for you, and we've got your feedback, especially pale WhatsApp. Kuna watu wanatuambia maneno mawili matatu. Maybe we can just take a look at what's up. Wanasemaje? There you go. Thank you. Hello, I am Washington. Henry watching you live from Njoro. Thank you so much for tuning in. But nowadays, there is no love. Our ladies are addicted to our babas. Jamini, atamna comments. Hi, I am Nas Juliet. And I think moving from self-sabotage to self-worth requires a journey of self-discovery and intentional growth. Here are the key steps to help you achieve this transformation: understanding self-sabotage, recognize those patterns, strategies for change, challenge negative thoughts, set realistic goals, cultivate self-compassion, seek support, overcoming deep-seated issues, address childhood trauma or past experiences, sustaining growth. Okay. From the story of that lady, many women have been in toxic relationships, making them spoil the good love that comes to them. We're a lady. Hello. Maya, if love knocked on my door, I would run away, run like my life depended on it. Hello, good morning. Kwani ni nini inaendelea jameni? Atutaki love. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Hi. Hello, you world. If love knocked at my door, I'd stop and question it. Talking from an end of being broken and never healing. I have faced rejection from my mother, which damaged me so bad. I can't heal. I try, but I can't. I had tried for long enough to tell myself, maybe I'm not rejected by my mom. Maybe she loves me or something. I go on and get married. Tell me why the rejection pattern keeps on repeating itself. Tell me why people come to my life only to damage me more. I don't know if this is about love or I am the problem. I'm slowly trying to accept that I am rejected and slowly start by loving myself more and my kids. I feel like we need to really address that when we finish. Good morning to you. Hi, between a girl and a boy, who's responsible for creating more room for better relationship between those two? It takes two to tango. Yes, Sasa Douglas. Why do people who had very strict parents and teachers have self-esteem issues? They like consulting everything, and some don't believe if you compliment them. So why do people? Oh wow, okay. I'm Abby. I'm falling in love. Allah. I'm falling in love with someone's husband. He has kids and a beautiful wife, and he wants to divorce the wife for me. I don't like that idea, but is it love or should I run? Wonderful topic which aligns to our daily lives and focuses on young people. My comment: love yourself first, the way you would want to be loved. Everything else will align. John, thank you so much for that.
That's true.
I'd definitely question it relationship-wise, because my mom saw a kind-hearted guy and had a family with him, not knowing he wouldn't be concerned with the kids' fees future. My dad used to care for food only, nyama kila siku, but tunapika na stove. He's kind-hearted but not responsible. My eldest sister got married with 2 kids now. She saw a responsible father, not knowing he would only take care of his kids, but not her. Her husband will buy clothes and pay fees and rent and everything else for his kids, but he would never help my sister, who is his wife, with even a bob. So don't know how or what love looks like. I don't know what kind of a man to choose, because my boyfriend right now is filthy rich, but he also doesn't spend a penny on me. So sijui love inafaa kukaaje. Elaborate for me. I'm 21, by the way. Hi, your world. I love someone, accepted my flaws and gave all my best, but it ends up either I'm the wrong person, or doing the wrong thing. What should I do? Hello, your world. I'm married for 11 years. For the last 7 or 6 years, I have been on a journey of self-discovery. I read books by psychologists, for example, Gabor Mates, Dane Siegel, Mac Wallen, and I'm really liking the journey. The problem is this journey has pushed me to see the world differently, and therefore my mindset doesn't match my friend's husband and family. What do I do? Kindly, Miriam Chebet Munijibu. Good morning, your world. Kamau from Lower Kabete. I think money took the name called love. Now it's kama huna pesa we can't. Mnakubaliana na hiyo kitu? Your world. About the question of the day, I would recognize love and I would question it. Like, what have you seen in me? Is this a trap? Are you really sure you want this? Am I because I'm friendly and all your and you're confusing things? If I was approached by a guy, I'd tell him to talk to my friends because they're more feminine than I am. Oh, all this love and relationship stuff makes me nervous. In a relationship, I'd overthink things and I would start processing a heartbreak a month or 2 in the relationship. So I just keep off and admit that love is, let's scroll that down. Thank you. That love is meant for my friends and not me. I met this lady online. I feel loved and I love, but now she has sickle cell. What can you advise on this? But we're trying to build something together. Mr. CEO. Okay. Hey, I'm 21 and above. Okay. So this is our last one, and then we can get to answer the questions. Hello there. Wait, unasemaje jina? Affable Jean. Hey. The show is really full of insights. Love should be biblical attached, because the Bible really emphasizes on the need to request for knowledge and wisdom from above. Yosema, don't depend on your wisdom and reasoning, but ask and it shall be given, because kuna time tunakosa and then we end up going deeper into mistakes.
Mambo
machache. Mlisema nini yule wa husband ya mwenyewe? Alisema run away. Okay.
Let me just say this about that one. Yes. I've spoken to a lot of dudes. In fact, I was just having that debate a day before yesterday with some guys. And I was asking them, you guys cheat, but at the same time you profess you love your wife. Do you know these men who cheat love their wives?
Yes.
He's not going to leave her. So, some actually, very in rare cases, will leave their wives.
Yeah.
But most of them won't.
Yeah.
Because they swear they love their wives. And I can't dispute with that, But he's still cheating because he feels he needs something extra.
Yeah.
So for that chick, I would just tell her, you just, kama unataka tu, kama side dish, that's up to you. But most married men will not leave their wives. Not, the stability is too much to walk away from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think also to add to that is the thrill of nikipatikana for the guy. So it's the thrill of the chase, which is very, very animalistic nature of who we are as humans. Not just men. Even women. There are women who will find themselves also in such situations where they are married, but then they're also having a side, somebody on the side. It's the thrill of having, I can do this. I'm still hot or whatever it is. I can still get women to do whatever. I can still get somebody to be interested in me. And that's why she's saying they won't leave their wives or husbands. The truth is, you're just an experience, and after that, they'll be done and move back to where they know where they're coming from. So
okay, I think we'll try answer the questions and then tie in with some of the questions that were asked from the audience. Kulikuwa na ile swali Miriam ya rejection.
Yeah, that question was very, very heavy.
Heavy.
In fact, it's just lingering on me right now. That's a person who has gone through a lot of trauma, and I would really, really, really recommend for them to get help with trauma counseling. One thing I want to notice for her is this: when you're rejected by someone, and especially by a parent, I want to emphasize that it's not her fault. It's not your fault. You did nothing at all. So the thing is, maybe this parent themselves didn't have the capacity to be a parent, a good parent, because of one reason or the other. I don't want to speculate or judge. But most of the times when I've seen most people who come from such families and are saying, I've been rejected by a mother, it's actually more painful when you're seeing like the other siblings. I don't know if there are other siblings, but you'll find scenarios where this person is seeing other siblings are more accepted and they are not. So that's where you internalize the rejection and ask, what is wrong with me? Because if she can accept so and so, kwani mimi shida yangu ni nini? Most parents who I've seen are like that. I don't want to diagnose, but it's beneficial that I do for this person. They usually are narcissistic parents. Yeah. A parent who is narcissistic will automatically pick on one child, not through the fault of the child, but will pick on one child to detest and hurt and project their pain and their own trauma through. So other kids are all golden kids, but this particular one.
Miriam, let me just hold that thought. We have a caller online. We have Douglas from Kiambu. Good morning, Douglas.
Morning, madam.
Uko salama?
Niko salama kabisa.
Okay. Leo ulikuwa unataka kuchangia mada ya leo.
Ya madangu nataka kusema nowadays by the way siku hakuna mapenzi ya dhati tena. Upata mtu the first of all mtu anakuuliza uko na job gani?
Uko na job gani?
The first of all mtu anakuuliza uko na job gani? So mtu kama huyo like unaona kama huyu hata kujua kwanza kazi yako ambayo unafanya ya kwanza, unaona?
Okay.
So that's why it's with nowadays mapenzi ya dhati hata sioni siku hizi.
Mapenzi ya dhati haiko siku hizi.
Haiko siku hizi. Warembo siku hizi.
Mimi naamini iko Douglas.
Bora situpati sasa hawa.
Sijapata bado pia.
Wako wapi?
Tunawatafuta mpaka tuwapate. Chebet nataka kumjibu. Ati nini?
Mimi natafuta watu wapata wako tu in love by the way. Napata tu majani tu Nairobi ya watu, unapata mtu ambaye anakuambia anakupenda wapi.
Haya, sawa Douglas, utapata. Asante kwa kutupigia. Utajibiwa na Chebet saizi akwambia wanapatikana wapi ama tufanye nini. Haya, Chebet.
Okay, so I think I'll tie that to the same question that was asked on WhatsApp about it was a comment that squeezy pesa ni
kama hauna pesa.
So one of the saddest things about the reality we live in today is, and I think this started with colonialism, when we were shifted from being a community that lived in concepts like Ubuntu, where love was shared within a community and not as we're experiencing it today. So in the sense that if there's no money, then there's no love in that space, right? We've equated love, we've reduced something that is so powerful, so innate, to materialistic. Love wasn't created by any human. It is what moves. It is the glue that puts everything together, in my understanding. I'm not talking about relationship love and all of those things. That's an expression of. But love in on itself is the essence of God, is the essence of the one that created everything. So if we equate it to something that was created by Miriam and Chebet in a lab somewhere, Kiambu Road, what is this? TRM, I mean, towards TRM, that place that makes money. No, the place that prints money.
Oh, De La Rue.
Exactly. We've reduced it to a De La Rue, conversation, right? We've reduced it to what do you have so that I can be able to see if it's all about survival. It's all about safety now. That's how we equate love. You have enough for me to feel safe enough to be around you, to be in your space. But that is not really what love is. So if we start to understand that, first of all, there's nothing that a child needs to do to be loved. Mtoto ata show up a smile, kila mtu ako, oh, I can live in a cafe, sorry. Does that child give you any money?
No.
Zero. That child gives you absolutely nothing. But because we live in a world that is seriously materialistic, then love has to mean that my capacity to survive is dependent on your ability to provide. But that is not truly what love is. So we reserve our capacity to love to people who can be able to save our pain, people who can be able to protect our pain, people who can be able to save me from myself. So that's what we've reduced love to. But that is not really the essence of love. Because if everything is stripped down, the other day, the 1,000 shillings that we used to have as a country, ile ya kitambo ile brown, somebody would wake up one day and anajipata akona hiyo thao kwa mfuko, they cannot use it. It's valueless. It's absolutely valueless. We live in a world today where tomorrow tunaweza amka and money, what we call money, is valueless. So will love stop being valueless then? No, it wouldn't. Love will transcend every one of these conversations we're having. The thing is, unless we truly remember what it is to be human, unless we truly remember what it is to really have a human experience, and you're a soul having a human experience, then you'll always continue being controlled by the notion that has been created around what survival looks like as far as in this capitalist world is concerned. And because of that, every single person we meet is leading with their pain, is leading with their trauma, is leading with their fears. Miriam, what do you have that we uko kwa class gani nione kama I'll fit in? Exactly. So it stopped being, I stopped seeing your physical look as Mary. I start seeing she's in NTV. I used to work in Google at some point in my life. When I used to hang out around people, I never once said I worked in Google, but I used to say I teach. Everybody would look at me, so nafunza shule gani? I'm like, oh, I teach grown-ups. So it stops, I completely dissociated myself from the identity that has been created around what I should be, do, and so be able to fit in spaces. But if you don't see me as Chebet,
I think that's where the dysfunction is, for sure.
Exactly. And I hope we've really forgotten to remember our identities as who we are, souls, but we see our identities as the things that, the material things around us. And from that point of view, I'm sorry Douglas, hakuna mapenzi.
Kweli. Nilikukat short pia. Pole na tuko na dakika karibu 7.
Yes. So for that lady, I was just saying she needs to get help because of that trauma. If you don't deal, I have said here previously, you attract your traumas in relationship. If you don't heal a trauma, if you don't heal the wounds that you have, like Chebet said earlier, that's who you're going to draw into your life. Have you ever noticed most people who come from abusive families end up in abusive relationships? You just draw that because that's what you knew. You know, that's chaos, toxicity, that's what you knew, and you end up being rejected because she's already, from the rejection she's gotten from her mom, she's already rejected herself by saying, I'm not lovable. So even when she goes to a relationship, that's the feeling she goes with. She may end up being in a very good relationship, but she will self-sabotage to get what she knows, self-rejection. Let me cap that one there. The other thing I wanted to say about what Chebet has just talked about, have you noticed that society, we are becoming more hollow and hollow and hollow and hollow? People are becoming more, what can I say, more empty. You have all these things, but there's still a hollowness and an emptiness in you. You're not satisfied. People are becoming more lonelier. You may be surrounded by people, but you're so lonely. People are becoming more removed. But to feel that, you keep adding things. You keep adding things. You keep adding things. Last time we had a very interesting topic about emotional distance. It's the things we were talking about. Would you rather have, I mean, anyway, people have different reasons why they enter relationships. But if you're entering genuinely, according to how God created for you, companionship and love, then you will enter a relationship where you know, you want to have great conversation with someone, great experiences with someone as you build together into something. That way you value each other more. That's what Douglas is saying. I can't find that. You know, people, the first thing someone asks you is, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I always say, when someone asks you, who am I, who are you? If you can't answer that question without titles, then you have no idea who you are.
Oh, yeah.
So don't tell me I'm an anchor, I'm a psychologist. That's not who you are. These are titles that add on to your experience on earth. But who are you really as a person? You know, and those are the things. I mean, Steve asked a very important question. How do you differentiate between weakness and vulnerability?
Yeah.
And those are the things. Weakness, people are afraid to show who they truly are because the world is going to say you're weak.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about. The world is going to say you're weak, but who do you stand for? Who do you say you are?
Yeah.
Right here, I just became very vulnerable. People could laugh at me. I talked about loving someone because of dancing. That's vulnerability.
Yeah.
Someone else might look at it like, I niaje una choma. Me, I don't care about choma. Me, I know who I am.
Yes.
And I'm satisfied with who I am. And
Absolutely.
that's where vulnerability comes in, Steve.
Yeah.
When you're comfortable in who you are, then it's not going to be weakness to you. To another person, it may look as weakness, but who cares about what other people think? What do you think? Are you being authentic with yourself? Are you truly, truly living for yourself, or are you truly living for others?
other people?
Because most of the time you find we are living for other people, and that's why we're so empty. You find that you can't take it anymore. This one is saying this one is saying this. And then the next thing you're like, I can't handle it.
Right. In the next 2-3 minutes, the question that were asked, and then there were other questions that were asked from the audience.
Maybe I can respond to a question someone asked.
Yes.
That let's say you've gotten into a relationship and realized that you're already in it.
It's too deep.
You're already maybe married or something like that. Is there a stop? Is there
reverse gear?
Reverse gear? Yes. So I'll look at this question in two ways. One, what is your perspective of reverse gear? Is reverse gear getting out of the relationship and then you now start afresh? Or is it working on yourself while you already are in this particular relationship? So at some point, Miriam mentioned that those days, in times ago, people would get into relationships and agree. There is no turning back, no divorce, no separation. We are staying in, and that gave marriages and relationships a lot of stability. But today, there is a way out. People are, you can leave the marriage. You can marry and remarry. You can have contract relationships. 2 years, then you're out. There are options, all right? Yeah. But if we go back to the Word of God, of course, God's idea of marriage was stability and was a structure, and there was longevity in accordance to God's Word. Now, if you got into the relationship not prepared, not understanding your identity, having a low self-worth, got into self-sabotage year 1, 2, 5, and then suddenly you realize there is this awakening. Wait a minute, who am I? 9 years later, I think I am one person who got my awakening in the 9th year of my marriage. 9th or 10th year of my marriage, and today it's 13 years later, and I can tell you the truth is I've had a lot of, it's been tumultuous, because the Lydia my husband knew before and the Lydia I have become is totally different. Okay, so I struggle to stick into what I used to be, and the truth is, a number of times he's told me, my dear, you've changed. You're no longer the same person. Now, I would give hope to certain ladies like me who have been in such a space, who have started the journey of self-discovery, realizing who they are, their values, and even setting boundaries that have been uncomfortable for other people. It is possible to do it while you're still in it. And I've seen people who have worked on themselves, and the society or the world has had to come in and accept whom they have become, and with time, the partners have also caught up with them, and build a beautiful relationship. However, there are scenarios whereby people have discovered themselves, have changed, become different people, and the marriage could not work. It couldn't work at all. So in such cases, what do? I encourage people, before you decide to divorce, to leave marriage, take some time out, separation is allowed scripturally. Take some time out, find yourself, let your partner also take some time to grieve, because you know this is a loss, the loss of the Lydia that was, and now the one that is becoming. It's grief for that person. So they need to go through the mourning and then now make a decision whether they still want this person again or not. And even for you, it's an opportunity for you to reflect. Is this the person that I'm still interested in doing life with? And now, of course, it becomes more complex where children are involved, you know, where the other stakeholders come in, it becomes a bit more tough. So my encouragement is it is possible for you to discover yourself while you're already in it. Work on it again. Don't sell your soul. Work on yourself. God created you uniquely and he wants you to achieve, to manifest the best version of yourself. So marriage and relationship should not kill the person that God created.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And I see you to patia dakika moja, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, Phil. 20 seconds. 20 seconds for each of our panelists. Just for okay, so 10, 10, 10. Philip, surely. For your final parting shots for each, and 10 seconds each.
Yes.
So,
I mean, self-love is a foundation. It's what draws in the universe to you. If you're able to truly understand who you are from the depths of your heart. And to answer the question from the lady, I know it's more than 10. Sorry, Philip. The lady who said she's been reading a lot and she's evolved beyond the space she's in. You get to be the teacher for the world around us on what the best example of somebody who truly shows up for themselves looks like. So as she said, sometimes it will mean that the space you're in will dissolve away. Sometimes it means that you will evolve and draw the people in towards with you. But the foundation here becomes self-love, but also the love of a community. Find spaces you're loved. Don't force love.
That's more like 20. I feel thank you, Chebet.
Thank you.
Miriam,
thank you,
10 seconds.
For me, my parting shot will be as I answer a small question by Miriam. You're enough. How do you know you're either desperate or ready for a relationship? Let it self-love. Let it start by you knowing that you're enough. That you're entering a relationship to be completed, not to be completed. If you're looking to get into a relationship to be filled, to feel better, then that's desperation. If you're entering a relationship because you want someone to complement your life, share your life with, then you're enough for yourself and you have something to give to the other person.
Thank you. 10 seconds, Lydia.
Do not get into a relationship out of loneliness. Get into a relationship from a wholeness perspective. Be whole and then now get into the relationship.
Thank you. Philip, I said thank you 5 times for you. Thank you so much, guys. It's been amazing having you in studio and for sharing your questions and vulnerabilities with us. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Chebet. Thank you for tuning in, online fans, people who are tuning in from their homes. Asante sana. We will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. From me to you, adios.